Hello, welcome. Dr. Sushma Singh this side. Today in Unit 27, Industrialization, we are going to start our lecture with topic Post-Industrial Society. Daniel Bell, a professor of sociology, was the first to use the term Post-Industrial Society. In fact, it was the title of his book, Post-Industrial Society, as far back as 1973. Bell predicted that we are fast moving towards a society where services and knowledge related technologies would dominate rather than industrial production. He held that post-industrial society would replace the industrial society as dominant mode. There are three components to a post-industrial society according to Bell: a shift from manufacturing to services, a centrality of the new science-based industries, and the rise of new technical elites and the advent of a new principle of stratification. Another term used for post-industrial society is information age. As another characteristic features of post-industrial societies is the domination of information technologies and industries related to it. The crux of difference between the industrial and post-industrial lies in what Daniel Bell calls the axial principle. The fundamental logic of economy and society was theoretical knowledge. The axial principle in industrial society was technical knowledge, which is a strategic resource of the new society. The university research institutions are the axial structure where this resource is located. Intellectual technology, that is problem-solving system using electronic gadgetry which allow for rational macro planning, forecasting, monitoring, with every responsibility of society become important than machine technology. White collar jobs replace blue collar jobs. Within this society, there is increase of professional, technical and scientific groups. Bell's prediction of post-industrial society was based on already emerging patterns in America in the 1970s, and these are: employment figures in 1950s, US became the first country to have a majority of its working population in service, that is trade, finance, transport, health, recreation, education, government. Within service, there was a rapid growth of professional and technical cadres. Evidence showed that contribution to service sector to GNP was steadily mounting. And increase in financial allocation towards a higher education, that is theoretical knowledge, is central organizing principle in society. To Bell, post-industrialization offers a solution to many problems in industrial society, such as individual talks to individual rather than interacting with machines, the invasion of new workers who performs interesting and varied jobs in pleasant surroundings, is engaged in production of a service and not in production of goods, interacts with live people and not mindless machines. As customers' demands vary, offers personalized service. This service is not fragmented, to which there was lack of identification with product. There is a certain unity in service provided by workers. Finally, new workplaces are pleasant office rooms and personal shop floors. Some argue that post-industrialism is unlike industrialism in its consequences for people. Industrialism promoted alienation as it made material affluence possible. Post-industrialism, in contrast, allowed individual to set its own pace instead of being paced by machines. By offering work that is varied and interesting, worker does complete job instead of fragmented bits of work. Hence, post-industrialism offers a solution to the alienation of man. The critics say that it is too rosy a picture. Marxists would not agree that alienation can be solved within the framework of capitalist system of production. To them, root cause of alienation is private ownership. That is what robs the workers of his control over tools and production. Employment in service class implied that it is at the cost of agriculture. It's fallacious to equate industrial employment with blue-collar manual job services with white-collar jobs. Many tasks involved in the provision of services such as catering, cleaning, entertainment and transportation or of manual or even menial kind are not very different from general run of industrial jobs. If industrial employment has to remain stationary and many of the new jobs created by the services are manual, the optimistic claim that the alienating condition of industrial work has now applies to fewer people would appear to be totally misplaced. The argument that white-collar workers in the service sector perform varied jobs in a pleasant atmosphere has come under severe attack. The vast bulk of service sector employees are clerks who have been herded into large impersonal offices. The repetitiveness, division of labor, fragmentation of tasks, and monetary that characterize industrial employment are to be found here as well. Finally, Bell's assertion that there is a growing proportion of professionals within the white collar has been questioned. The expansion of professionals in the service sector is taking place at the lowest level. These people are assigned impressive titles such as engineer and technologist. However, they hardly enjoy freedom on their job. Their actual job is to perform according to the someone else's specifications. There are more providers of information. Production of scientific knowledge itself has become an industry, with a vast number of people performing fairly simple and regulated jobs for a coordinator who alone knows how the pieces fit together to make a whole. While there are many critics to Bell's argument and his prediction, he was indeed moving from an industry-oriented economy to post-industrial one. The new technologies have definitely altered social structures. They have speeded up the globalization processes of which we will read in our next section. Let us conclude the unit. In this unit, we have tried to explain what is meant by industrialization. By trying to identify its central features, we have traced industrialization to industrial revolution in England, which definitely propelled industrialization not only in England but Europe, to be followed by rest of the world. Many scholars were trying to understand the far-reaching changes that were brought about by industrialization, which has drastically changed the social structures besides changing production processes. Some of the thinkers who are important figures of sociology have commented on these social changes and their implications, which can still be seen in our present society. The development and progress and quality of life in some of the wealthy nations became a shining model for countries which were left behind, the third world countries. India too adopted development models from the West. modernization which accompanied industrialization, westernization had its impact on Indian society that have been extensively chronicled. We have tried to cover up some of these issues of modernization in many of our other units in this course. We have, however, tried to present with two fundamental perspectives on industrialization, that of Gandhi and Nehru. In the concluding section, we have tried to show that in our fast changing society, we are moving even beyond traditional industrialism to processes which involve information technologies. Here we want to close this lecture, and we have come to the end of the unit. Thanks for listening.